Yo, 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 it's your boy BIG ANT back with another episode of the Can I Kick It podcast. It's a special bonus episode. I got a special guest with me, my dog, the one and only Mr. Sicko Cam himself. Say what's up to everybody, big dog.
What's good? What's good, man? Killer Cicko. Y'all might know me as Cameron Hoffis, my government. But yeah, man, what's good?
Chilling, man. It's been a minute since we talked, and unfortunately, we got back on conversating terms through what's going on in the world today. So I took the time out to reach out to a couple of people, and you were the first one to get back to me to want to get on the podcast and maybe talk about some things, give people different perspectives, open up some eyes, get some understandings down. You know what I'm saying? So trying to use the platform to help people gain knowledge and see people's different opinions in what's going on, because everybody's talking.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking. So
We got everybody talk. I mean, well, for one, let's start off on that note. Everybody's talking. When Kaepernick kneeled, that got people talking. That got people talking, peaceful protesting. But it also had people saying, "Oh, he's kneeling. What's wrong with him?" Everybody finds something to have a problem with, and that's the problem. Instead of trying to understand, where we are in America as far as minorities are concerned, instead of trying to understand where this anger comes from, or that there's a problem in the first place, the first thing they want to do is find any reason to say it's not that before they even understand what it is. You can't tell somebody that's being oppressed and you never felt that type of oppression, you never felt that type of fear or that type of aggression towards you when you walk outside the house. Then naturally you don't even understand what somebody is talking about. Now, somebody of color that knows, the police get behind them, they have their seatbelt on and everything, and they still get sweaty palms and things like that. That's something wrong. It's something wrong with that. And everybody has their own stigmatism or their own thing, vice, what have you, with the police or whatnot, whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing. Like, we didn't do anything wrong, so we're fine. And then it turns out that it ends up being an incident that occurs. And then people I like to say, well, don't make it a black and white thing or a color thing, but that's exactly what it is. And it's like, if we're calling it how we see it and then you don't want to see it that way, then how can we get to another place? You haven't even first admitted that there's even a problem.
Yeah, because to me it's like this, and you said it before I said it. The comparison with Colin, which I think a lot of people, it just completely went over their heads,
Right.
and it's kind of ironic and sad at the same time that the police killed George by kneeling on him. And
Yeah.
the thing that gets me, and you know me, I've been very vocal about it, and I try to play both sides, and that's because if anything wants to get done, I believe that it needs to start from a neutral base.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I understand that everybody's angry. There's a lot of people. I'm angry.
Yeah.
It hurt me to watch that. I mean, the thing is, before I go back to the Colin thing real quick, the thing is, we've grown accustomed to these videos and to these actions and to
Oh,
these
yeah.
murders and these killings. It's becoming like immune.
A
You know what I'm
numb,
saying?
a numbing type of effect. And before we let that happen, to where we just numb to it and we don't have any more emotion towards it, we just take it. Outrage has to come first. You know what I mean? You either gonna lay down, or you're gonna fight back, and that's with anything. That's with anybody. If you corner a dog, he's gonna fight for his life, whether it's a fighting dog or not. So it's
Yeah.
it's just one of those situations where right now people are literally outraged because most of them don't have a voice to express how they really feel. And then
Hmm.
when they do express how they really feel, they have people coming, left and right field, kind of
They're attacking them.
explaining, yeah, explaining like why they shouldn't feel that way. You can't
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
nobody how to feel, man. You just have to try to understand. And if you can't understand, then come from a neutral place to find a solution, like you're doing. But you do
Yeah.
understand. You
Yeah.
clearly understand. You clearly know
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah, because like I said, back to the Colin comparison, it's like, okay, Colin takes the peaceful route and he kneels to make a point and get
Mhm.
the nation involved, and you see a problem with it. Then
Right.
you have the riots and you have the protests, and there's a problem with it because there's people doing it the right way, and then other eyes they're doing it the wrong way.
Mhm.
There's a peaceful type of protest, and then there's the violent type of protest. But for
Right.
me, this is the biggest thing, and I'm telling you because you are a black man in America.
Mhm.
Even though I'm Puerto Rican, and if you dig deep down into the ancestry tree, there's a part of the African descent in my bloodline. I
Yep.
am, I
Obviously.
am,
Mhm.
I am also labeled by America a colored man. You understand? I am in a minority myself, so I can understand where a lot of you guys are coming from. But the thing that I can't do, and this needs to be heard like from everybody, the thing that I can't do is tell a black man how to mourn and how to protest and how to live his life. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I cannot do. And I will not do. Because we're all men. And the thing is that you need to understand that your background is not the same as mine, and it will never be the same as mine. We might have something similar, but it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, you got to put yourself in their position to want to understand, like, why are they rioting? Why are they doing so much? It's not nonsense, but in a lot of people's eyes, it's going down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to understand why they're coming from this and why they have so much anger built up
Right. Right.
inside. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
for me, like I said, I can't tell a black person how to mourn, how to live their
No.
life, how to
No.
you know what I'm saying? Because
And
I don't
that's the
have that.
thing. The thing is this also. A lot of people, I don't know, for whatever reason, some people are afraid, or they
Mhm.
they'll finally come to terms that, okay, it is a problem if they were to put themselves in our shoes. I'm talking about me and you. And yeah, you're very much so from African descent. Puerto Ricans, of course, we could go all into that. Cubans, and
Yeah,
all of that
yeah,
whole islander type of thing. We can go deep into that. But what I want to get right into is, and stick to, is, the business at hand. The whole problem is people always try to go with the popular opinion to avoid the truth, and that's just some people, of course. And the people that do that, that's the people that we're talking to right now. If
yeah,
you if you know for a fact racism has been a problem in America, you know for a fact that all of these things have been a problem. This is 2020. We're not talking
mhm,
about, when slavery was abolished or anything. We know that there's a problem, and we know that everyone's not with it. Everybody's not with it. But the people that find any excuse and any reason to turn it and flip it around to make it to where we have to dumb down the the facts, that we have
yeah,
to dumb down that there is a racial problem in America. No, don't dumb that down. And the people that's talking about looting and rioting, I mean, of course, so many people have said this countless many times. I don't agree with that shit at all. I don't agree that we should have to loot at this point. You know what I'm saying? That we at
yeah.
2020,
Facts.
and we have to riot and loot to show you that we serious. For you guys to go and investigate Breonna Taylor's death, for you guys to go ahead and charge these dudes with murder, we have to show you that we're so outraged that we have to go and do all of this, and then have people tag team and be opportunistic as well. And let me speak on this, because I know a lot of people are going to be listening. They're going to comment on this.
Yeah,
The truth is coming out. And remember, the what, I forget her name, but Mrs. Davis, I'll just call her because I forget her first name. But she was a revolutionary, and she said the revolution will be televised, right? Angela
yeah,
Davis. So with that being said, I didn't think she was talking about at that time, because if you look back at the you know that those times in the 60s, that stuff was being televised, those riots and people being, brutalized in the middle of the street. And
mhm,
guess what?
mhm,
White America, for the first time, got to see the real deal, whether they liked it or not. And a lot of people were how they are now, outraged and whatnot. So
yeah,
this revolution that's happening now is being nothing but televised through social media. It's a new television a new screen that we're watching it through, a new lens. But it's the
Yeah.
same thing, and it's a shame that it has to resort to this to get people's attention. And again, this is what I was gonna piggyback off of. We seeing that a lot of these things are being systematically done too. It's playing
Yeah.
a part of their agenda to try to put
Mm-hmm.
us under a martial law, and that right there, as an American, not as a black man, as an American, that's disgusting to me. That you guys would really go as far as to manipulate your own people, your own kids, your own
Mm-hmm.
neighbors, your own, people that you say that we stand proud next to. You would go and put bricks on the street because we was out there. I was in Tampa. I passed by the
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale protest, and we was on the I on 95, caught on the I. We didn't, that wasn't even planned, but we ended up just in that
Yeah.
protest. So
Yeah.
so with that being said, and I'm not even the type of person to jump on live and be like, yeah, we out here, we out here. You could catch me on somebody else's live or something. Catch me on
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's video because I don't do it for that stuff. And not yet. It might become a time where I have that calling, but right now I'm just doing it for a different reason, man. Just to show my personal feelings and passion towards it. Because personally, if I wasn't black, I still would be outraged. I mean, come on, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
from a human standpoint, and not for nothing. My personality as well. My personality just won't allow me to sit back and just take what's being given to me without questioning it.
Yeah, cause that's how I roll too. You know what I'm saying? Cause
Hmm.
like I said, like me, I'm not very political. And
Oh, you're very
I'm
outside the box, though.
yeah, yeah.
Very
I
much
mean,
so,
I can hold a good conversation, and I'm not dumb. Me and you are
for
not
sure,
dumb men. You know what I'm saying?
for
We're
sure,
very smart for who we are in
for
today's
sure,
generation.
for sure.
So for me to not try to get both sides, because like you said, we sit there and we see these videos and it angers. It's supposed to anger you. If it doesn't anger you, then that's the problem,
That's
because
the
you're
problem,
letting people get away with it, obviously.
right?
So it only angers me more when people are trying to do it the right way, the quote unquote
Hmm.
the right way, and then you have people doing the extra, which is damaging property, burning buildings and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But a part of me, even though I want to say it's wrong and I know it's wrong, and I think you can agree,
Hmm.
a part of me is saying, let them do that. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? let
that's
let
exactly where I stand.
let them do that, because as much as I hate to try to tell somebody that this is right and this is wrong, you got to understand that these people have been dealing with this for so long, and
Hmm.
they continue to get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, what if there was no cameras? What if there was
Hmm.
no cameras and we didn't know the actual aspect of what went down? Do you
On
think the
Mr.
cop would
Aubrey's
be in
case,
trouble?
yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm saying? With
no, not at all,
exactly.
not at
Exactly.
all.
So then when you give me all of this information and you feeding me all this, interviews and facts and pictures and videos and stuff like that all over, wherever the case may be of the media where you're getting it, how do
Hmm.
you expect somebody to react? You know what I'm
Of
saying? It's
course,
like, how long do we have to deal
of
with it?
course, man. And then not only that, man, I want to say this too. When you look around, right, and really
Hmm.
look around, it's like we got a lot of young, strong, uh, very very able-bodied people who are gonna be called right now to stand up and be leaders. And the thing is, I'm not forcing that, and I don't think that's anybody should force that. I think that naturally, if you have the ability
Yeah.
to be somebody that people can not just look toward for information or anything like that, but also just respect in the light that I'm being like that they're being genuine. That somebody's just really
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
genuine. Because you don't want
Inspiration.
nobody, right? You don't want anybody trying to be, oh, guess what? My new mixtape coming out. Check that. And trying to be doing all of that in the middle of talking about these things that we're talking about. Because there's
Yeah.
no room for that. And when we talking about this, we in this, because this is real life. And not for nothing, we have to feed our families and things like that as well. But this is real life, is as if, yeah, you gonna have a family if we don't handle this kind of shit right now. And then what happens when it spills over into our family? What happens when it happens to your family member? That's
Yeah.
when you want to be outraged? That's when you want to be mad and go and burn some shit? No, no, this is
It's too
happening
late then.
yeah, it's happening every day. It's been happening since you know since our ancestors been alive and things like that, talking about 400, 500 plus years of oppression. And then when we finally say, okay, we're gonna we're gonna do the American thing finally, y'all built the nation and everything like that for free, we're still gonna treat you like second class citizens and make you work for that. And then after you do that for like 50 years, we still
Yeah.
gonna kill you in the middle of the street and tape it and show you that we still don't give a fuck. Who's gonna let that happen? What day and age? And then we talking about Kanye saying that being a slave was a choice, and then people had stuff to say about that. Well, right now we got a choice:
Yeah.
get down or lay down. What you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Basically, it's like you said earlier. It's like you're backing a dog into a corner, and you got to understand that even though you might tame that beast, he's still an
Right,
animal. You
right,
understand what I'm saying?
exactly,
You understand what
exactly,
I'm saying?
right,
And
right,
it's like poking a line with a stick. You know, you're like, okay, I got one poke here, two pokes here. By the third poke, he might snap and take your whole arm off. You
right.
know, we're
And I know it might be some people, not to cut you off either. It might be
you
some
good.
people uh thinking about this too, that know the meaning of thug life. When he call us thugs, I'm talking about Donald Trump, Mr. Orange, Agent Orange, whatever you want to call that nigga. He always got something to say, like as far as thugs and this and that, and then tell somebody that they good people for protesting another kind of way when they were
Hmm.
doing a lot of things to incite riots to other people that was protesting against what they were protesting on. So, and calling them fine people and shit. And I get it,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But nobody was systematically, you know, vandalizing shit and doing all of this. We didn't have videos of that coming out where the police is sitting back and letting some lady, put BL in and F the police and all that shit, like somebody else did it, and then putting George
Yeah.
Floyd name on there, and that shit is crazy to me. That not only will y'all see this situation and take it serious, but y'all will use it as a catalyst to make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
That's the most evil shit ever to me.
yeah, they're twisting the plot to make it fit their agenda. You know what I'm saying? That's
Exactly,
why.
fam.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that's
and that's
why
what a lot of you
exactly.
guys, all of us, you and I'll tell you, some people that's listening right now. I think my boy Jimmy Ray listening. Shouts out to Jimmy Ray. Jimmy is saying the same shit because he kind of seeing it before it happens, like a lot of us are. But
Yeah.
in the heat of the moment, like why it's going down, still my thing is I'm gonna side with. I'm not gonna tell nobody how to revolt. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
tell my people how to have an uprising. We don't know how that's gonna happen. So what we need to do though is the community leaders, people who already have a stronghold and a strong name in the community and a respectful name in the community that everybody knows what they stand for. Those people need to be called, and those maybe you ain't gotta be the leader and the person and stuff like that, but be the person that communicate with the other leaders
Yeah.
and making sure everybody's straight, and the gun owners and the people who are licensed to carry, because some of us, like myself, I'm a convicted felon, so, and I have a medical marijuana license, so they'll give me that, but they won't give me my gun license, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, I can get with my cousins and brothers and uncles and nephews and stuff like that, and nieces as well, and my sisters as well, and
Yeah.
have them on some organized shit to where Mr. Marcus Garvey and Mr. Hugh P. Newton and all of the other forerunners that came before us, they attempted to do that, and you seen what happened to them. Marcus Garvey died in the dark, you know what I'm saying, and he
Hmm.
died. He died, the police rushed him and killed him, and that's public information, and that's just fucking crazy that the government will do that if you try to organize your people and be about your people when they are not, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I believe it also what Rick Ross said is 100, like, you got to destroy before you elevate. Yeah, sometimes shit gotta happen like this. The riots brought a lot of different changes, you know what I'm saying. After that, a lot of people died, and a lot of people got hurt and injured forever, crippled and stuff like that in those
Hmm.
times. for us to be okay in these times. And the fact that this shit is still happening, a motherfucker. I just seen a video, a guy putting his hands up. The other guy, they wasn't even gonna run. He was like, oh shit, okay, and he dropped down, and they let the dog eat him up by his leg, and he kept chewing this man's leg till he passed out. And then the dog started chewing his leg like it was a chew toy, and they couldn't. Listen, I've seen these videos. I've seen dog training videos where they just say one word and the dog let go.
And it drops it, yeah.
There was no time that the guy was saying a command, whatever the hell he was saying, he wasn't saying the right word, and he knew that. So when he did say the right word, I heard it. The dog let the fuck go, and everybody was commenting on that. And I can't believe that the inhumanity right there, that you'll let somebody get bit to the point they pass out, and you'll let them still continue to get bit, knowing you're saying the wrong words for the dog to release them. And then if that guy were to punch or defend himself against that dog, then he'd be tried as if he
hit a cop.
He hit a cop, and he assaulted a human being, and that's wrong, man, on so many levels. And this is 2019. This is last year. You know, and we tired of seeing that shit on our timeline, bro. Me and you talk about that. It brings us down. Like, I don't want to see a baby getting hurt. I don't want to see this nasty, gory stuff that happens to people. Because guess what, dog? At the end of the day, it messes with your energy. It messes with your spirit. And that kind of stuff don't have no weight when you're trying to have a good, clean spirit, when you're trying to live better and live clean. We all have, we all have access to sin. Let me say that. Right?
Yeah.
So it's about your choice. It's about what you choose. So if you choose to act in that sin, God always leaves a way out, and that's the conscience that we sometimes ignore. I too have been that
facts.
Ignore that. You know what I mean? But now that we living in a different space, all we want to do is just live our life, and we can't do that. I can't be in my house eating an ice cream and watching Netflix because I gotta worry about a cop kicking in my apartment and shooting me.
Yeah,
that's unfair, bro.
Yeah, it brings a whole different level of paranoia. You know what I'm saying? And that's
whole nother level.
And you have
anxiety,
and you have people that deal with that already. You know what I'm saying? Paranoia, schizophrenia, anxiety,
PTSD.
Stress. Yeah, that's a big one too, man. Because all it takes is somebody to come to somebody's house and during these times and say some things and do some things, and the next thing you know, they're out there, with the AR, and they're letting off 30 rounds.
Yeah,
and then they look like they're the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have enough problems on your plate already.
It's a scary reality.
Yeah, man. And like you said earlier, I want to touch on that too. Like every time you go on social media, it's like you see some bad shit. Like my day was great. My day was going straight until I hopped on Facebook and boom, and I'm like, yo, this man really just kneeled on this guy's neck for 8 minutes, bro. 9 minutes.
I'm gonna tell you as a listener something, dog. I still haven't watched that full video because I already, when I scrolled down and I seen that he was killed, and I looked at the caption, I seen he was killed, and I seen that he was alive before. Yeah. I just could not watch him take his last breath in front of me like that because I already seen too much of that.
Yeah, and it, like I said, it's never easy, and even though, like we touched on it before, like we become immune to it kind of in a state. It's like we're used to seeing it, but sometimes it's like when I tell you, like I'm telling you now, like it was hard for me to watch. It was hard for me to watch. The thing that gets me mad, the thing that gets me more mad, even after the fact, is that he did it while he was getting recorded.
Yeah, I mean, with his hands in his pocket,
the balls on that guy is that has to be the most boldest move I've ever seen. Like he hands in his pockets, kneeling down, didn't ask the guy, didn't ask George if he was okay, checked his pulse, moved him. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't say this. You know what? Cops are supposed to protect and serve, and I've heard many times where a cop apprehended somebody, he's handcuffed, and they say, look, I'm gonna let you up. Are you gonna chill? Yeah, please, man, let me up. Okay, I'm gonna let you up now. And they let him up. That guy knew exactly what he was doing, and as the story keeps unfolding, we see that they even have a history of working together and things like that. And then we start seeing that this guy, I won't say his name because for one I can't pronounce it that well, and then two,
Yeah.
we don't want to make him more famous than he already is. So the guy that murdered George, I say,
Mhm.
he has a history of murdering minorities. He has a history of being incoherent. He has a history of being mentally ill. Why
Yeah.
the fuck is he still
Why
on
is he on the
force?
force? Exactly.
Why?
And the dude that was riding with him too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know about that too.
yeah,
The Asian guy, the one that
Oh
was like
yeah,
just standing there, like just guarding him.
yeah.
He has,
Trying to
but
be a
the
human shield for the
yeah,
camera and stuff.
he has a criminal past. No, I wouldn't say. Well, I can say criminal now since they are criminals. He has a criminal past of doing the same thing with him.
Yeah,
That's the thing with him. You know what I'm
with
saying?
him.
So it's
Wow.
it's like two peas in a pod, bro. They
So
were
that's
both
his accomplice all the time.
yeah. That's basically like his Ryan partner, I guess. Like, but
Right. So
I
he knew
read.
he knew probably what was gonna happen. Not to cut you off again, dog.
No, you go, you good.
He knew what was gonna happen. You dig? So people body language will tell you everything you need to know. And a lot of times you can speak body language better than we can speak plain English, you know? So his body language could tell like, yeah, I'm trying to get in the work. I know he finna do his thing right now. And that's some fuck shit, dog. They was beating him up in the car and he fell because he tripped on the thing, step.
Yeah,
Then
that I don't want to cut you. Yeah, I don't want to cut you off either. That got me mad too when they released the camera footage of them taking him and dragging him out in the car,
Crazy.
and then him not resisting at all before they put him on the ground.
Nothing.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And that's crazy. He was in the car, and then he ends up outside the car. You know, because y'all were beating his ass. He's probably trying to jump out and get the fuck out of there. Of course.
Yeah, as
like
any
anybody.
person would try to do.
I'm handcuffed. All I got is my feet, bro. Like I have to get away from y'all. Y'all are killing me right now. And then y'all want to step on my neck. That's crazy. It's all crazy. And then another thing is this. You know, to the listeners too. I know y'all seen how the camera angle switched up. They had the same camera angle, but then when they got closer to the car, they want to show the across the street camera angle. Let's watch the whole film. Let's watch. We can see clear as day that the car is right there, and if we keep watching, we'll see more. And I just don't like how the media portrays shit either, man, because it's a problem in America, dude. It's not a problem necessarily even with people. It's a problem with this shit being pushed on and forced on people, and then the people that really feel like that, they have these upstanding ass positions to be able to exercise the way they are, bro.
Yeah.
It's not
it's an abuse of power, bro. They have a freaking 4-inch piece of metal that hangs on their chest that means more to them than what's inside themselves, which is the heart. You know what I'm saying? That's what's crazy to me. Because if you take everything off a police officer, guess what? He's just like me and you.
Yeah, you see them in Walmart. You see them in passing when they got their little Oakleys on. You know who the police and who not and shit.
And
so it's like, dude, you guys are walking with your family in Walmart just like us. And then when you put that badge on, you gonna slam somebody in front of their kid out of Walmart? What the fuck? Like that shit just crazy to me. So yeah, that don't make no sense as a human being. That doesn't make no sense as a human being. Not a black man, not this, that, and the other, not a minority, but as a human being, that don't make no fucking sense to me. Because if I'm walking with my kid, I don't want to see a cop slam somebody on the floor on their neck or something like that just because they saying, what are you doing? What have I done? And this, that, and the other. You talk to that person, you see what's going on. And if you have to apprehend them, you apprehend them. But they be punching, they do way too much, bro. And if a person tries to defend themselves, then they get hit with the hammer. No, these cops should also be held to esteem. They should also get hit with the hammer when something happens, because you know why? They're the ones that have the training. They're the ones that's trained to handle, civilians and handle situations. Every situation don't call for you to use excessive force, and everybody knows that. We've seen them not use excessive force with somebody pointing a gun at them. Then have them use excessive force with somebody running away from them unarmed. You seen how that guy just shot? What's his name? With the green. Oh man, I can't even remember his name. His name's Sean, I believe. He gets shot in the back when he ran away from the cop. Gray, Mr. Gray. I believe that's his name. It's so many different cases, and you get names mixed up and all kinds of shit.
That's the older gentleman, right? Not
Freddie
young
Gray.
cat.
Not Freddie Gray.
You talking about the young dude?
I'm talking about the older guy. He was in, like, the body cam showed him. He had a green shirt and he was
Mm-hmm.
running away from. I know the podcast listeners are gonna know who I'm talking about. Y'all can leave the comments and whatnot underneath. But
Yep.
man, they shot that man like he shot that man like like you would shoot a deer or something running away from you, man. And that shit was horrible, dude. I say, wow, this man is unarmed running away from the police because he already on some shit. He already want to beat him up, and I'm just want to run for my life. Okay, chase me down, tackle me, use a taser, whatever the fuck. Don't shoot me 7 times in the back.
Yeah,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
excessive. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You're talking about you said he had a green shirt on in the video, right?
Yeah, maybe his
You're
name's
talking about
Tamir.
no, I think you're talking about Walter Scott.
Walter Scott. Yeah, I could look it up. I'm on my computer and thing. I could look him up real fast.
I believe it's Walter Scott.
Mhm.
If my memory is correct, I believe that's him. He was approached by the police and then he started running and then the officer then like
Yep, that's his
shot him.
name, fam. That's his name, Walter
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
in North Charleston, South Carolina. R.I.P. to Mr. Walter Scott, man. And yeah, he following a daytime traffic stop for a non-functioning brake light. So yeah, you want to shoot me for a non-functioning brake light? There's soccer moms out here that have non-functioning brake lights. There's single
What?
moms that have non,
Yeah.
and you know, and it's just crazy that you would do that. That's something that you just write a ticket about. That's something that I show up in court and I pay a fine for. That's not something
Yeah,
I
you should
lose my life for.
you show a picture to the court lady and say I got my shit fixed, or they come outside and they inspect your car and then
There
you
we
go
go.
about your business, pay you $75 and haul ass. Are
That's
you gonna
it.
shoot me and kill me over a malfunctioning brake light? And then to
Yeah,
me it's
man.
like it's like now it's like to touch back on the whole topic of the whole conversation. It's like to
Right,
me
right.
now it's like what can they not get away with?
Yeah.
And what will they what will they not do? It's like once you think you've seen it and heard it all, something new comes up. It's
Yeah,
like
it's like this. How many Walter Scott stories have we not heard that didn't get recorded, that didn't get reported, that didn't have a post that said RIP, that didn't have a candlelit vigil or anything? It's so many stories. It's too many. It's too
yep,
many that got recorded, let alone the ones that didn't. You know,
yep, yep.
we're talking about a lot, man. We're talking about 5,000 plus police related unarmed shootings, and those are real stats, man. And that's
Yeah,
ridiculous, and
yeah.
that's within like 2016 and shit. Like,
And the thing that gets me is like you have the slated individuals that will try to fight every way in every form to make it seem like the cop did his most just duty, you know. But I can only agree with that with so much. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously they're policemen and policewomen. Obviously they have a job. They're to serve and protect. If the results come back and the facts come back that everything that you did was unjust, you're in a shit show.
right.
You're in a league of your own now. We put you with the rest of them that are out here just doing what you want. Like I said, because you have a piece of metal on your chest. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And the thing is, like a lot of people get it misconstrued, and they want to automatically assume that there has to be a reason why.
Uh
And a
huh.
majority of I hate to admit it, but a majority of them are whites killing blacks. It's not blacks
Hmm.
killing blacks, and it's not, you
Yep.
know what I'm saying? It's white police, and white police, are doing these killings. It's like what did you do, or what did he do? Matter of fact, what did the suspect do to make you want to do that? And then
Yeah, that's
if the
facts.
results come back to where it's a malfunctioning brake light, and he probably feared for his life, so he ran, and then you shot him as he was running away,
Yeah.
you don't get held on that pedestal of like, okay, he did what he needed to do, the guy was strapped, he's known to be, a harm for the environment, or
Yeah.
et cetera, you feel me?
Right.
You don't
Right.
If you
Right.
don't have that, if you don't have that resume, and you don't have those things that are
You don't meet
attached to
those
you,
credentials, then what the fuck, man? I mean,
then
like,
why
everybody.
why did you just kill this man? And then you're gonna go to court, and you're gonna go on the news, and you're gonna tell us that it was a traffic stop.
Yeah, what
A
is your
traffic stop.
justification? You have none. You have no justification other than he was a black man and you quote unquote fear for your life. And that's not a justification to kill somebody, fam.
It's
Not
not,
when
no.
not when you're the person that has the gun, the taser, the baton, the fucking the disabling weapons to
The
the
power is what they
power.
got. They got the
Yeah.
power. And what's crazy is anybody can be a police officer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And the thing that gets me more upset too is that we don't. I think I'm not a police officer, obviously, but
Hmm.
I think a lot of these police officers that get into the field, they need to be background checked. You know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
a lot of
Thoroughly.
them might have like internal issues that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Little Johnny Appleseed wants to be a police officer, but he was bullied all his life by black people. Guess what? Now you gave him that badge. Now he can go
Yeah.
around and do whatever he wants.
Hey, what are you guys doing and all that stupid shit? The first day he got the badge. Hey, listen, let
Yeah,
me say
yeah.
this now.
8 shots later. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like you
that's a
know
problem.
it digs deeper than that. You know, and then also with police training, and you know that gets tricky too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Reform. It's a
yeah,
reform that needs to happen because that's a part of the reform that needs to happen. There needs to be a thorough just like these people get. Listen, when you go to the NBA, when you go to the NFL, they investigate every part of your life and your upbringing. You understand? So
yeah,
why
facts.
why wouldn't we hold people who are really policing and governing our citizens to that same esteem? The ones that are walking around with rifles and shotguns and guns and explosives at times and militant uniform and all that kind of shit. Why don't we hold them to that same esteem? Because if we don't, then we have what we have right now. And that's a shit show, dog. And really it's allowing people to exercise their racism, and it's disgusting, man. People are tired of it. That's what it comes down to. Now let me say this too. I'm
Yeah,
on I'm on statista.com, right? And I'm looking
yeah,
at the statistics, and that's where y'all could go and check this statistics out. And the number that they showing me, and this is as of March 2020, and they have
yeah.
where you can look at the source information to see where these come from. But the numbers here, so I got to correct myself, aren't the numbers that I said before. So
That's okay.
based on this, from 2017 to 2020, there was about 223 on 2017, 209 2018, 2019 had 235, and this year was 31. Now, the problem I got with that number is they have an unknown area where they don't know
Yeah,
the race and stuff like that. And it's like 139 for this year, 202, 204, and 84, and that's for 2017. Now, the white, if you go and look at this, the numbers of people shot to death by police, the
hmm,
race number, the whites are up there by almost double. Literally, it's saying 2017 was 457. 399 for 2018, and it slowly declined. 370, and all of a sudden this year, I guess because of quarantine and stuff like that, 42. But
yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't know how accurate this is, right? But
Hmm.
I promise, I feel like I've seen at least 158 videos myself of
Yeah,
unarmed people
yeah.
getting shot. Not just blacks, but people. Cause we seen the Latino videos, we seen the white videos where that guy's at the
Hmm.
hotel and this man's giving him all of these impossible commands and and daring him to get anything wrong, and literally threatening him, saying that I used to be a Marine, I'll kill you right here, and all of that crazy shit. And you don't know what kind of duress this man is under.
Exactly.
You don't know what kind of drugs he's under the influence of. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that kind of stuff plays a big part. You don't even know this man's mental health state. You're pulling a fully automatic or semi-automatic rifle in this man's direction.
Like
You have,
how are you supposed to react? You know what I'm
come
saying?
on, bro. These people are, that's probably his first time even being around a gun. You don't know this man from a can of paint. It might be his first time ever being around a firearm, and you have it pointed to him. He's, you know what I mean? That
It's
it's just
scary.
something.
It's
It's
scary.
scary, bro. And even me, I've been around firearms my whole life, but to have one pointed at me, you fucking right, I'm nervous every time I've had one pointed at me, and I've had one pointed at me several times behind nothing other than just being black and being in the wrong spot. What are you doing around here? That's the question I got asked after getting the gun pointed to me and having to walk backwards and kneel down and lay down face flat and put your hands behind your head, because if you get any one little thing wrong, all of these rifles is going off in your ass, and they all pointed at you right now.
Yeah,
And you're
and
16 and 17 years old. No cap.
yeah, and to add to that, there's a story that a lot of people don't know about me. Um, this was back when I had the Volkswagen. I don't know if you remember the Volkswagen.
I surely do.
Yeah.
The fast
So
turbo
the
game.
fast
Yes.
turbo, yeah, the 215s in the back. I was bumping in
Stop
that
playing.
little
Boom,
thing.
boom, boom.
Boom, all the way on the block.
Right.
I remember I was coming home from a UFC fight party watch. A couple of my boys from work like come through, you know what I'm saying, blah blah blah,
Vibe, chill, drink,
just chill
yeah.
and watch, you know what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
I'm on my way back to my house. This is when I was living at my mama's house, and she lives off of Griffin and 441, right by the Hard
Facts.
Rock. So I was coming from Plantation all the way, back to my mom's. It wasn't that late. Probably maybe like a little after 1 o'clock. UFC main event don't start till like almost like 11:30, 12 o'clock almost sometimes, or obviously almost all the time. So I got done watching that, said my bye, said my pieces, and I was out.
Right.
Getting off 95. Right before you get off 95 to get on
And
Griffin.
Yeah,
right there.
It's a scary little spot, but SO always over there.
So FHP pulls me over. So I'm like, shit. But I know my shit is straight. I got nothing in the car. I wasn't drinking. I drank a little bit. I wasn't drunk, so I was good. I had no weapons in the car. I'm vibing. So I got all my shit ready on my lap. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to reach. You know what I'm saying? Because FHP is on a whole different level than all the other rest of the lawful, police.
Yeah, they is Florida.
Yeah, they own this shit. So I'm chilling, and he comes up to the car. He's like, you know what I'm saying, yada yada yada. So I give him the ID, the insurance. He goes to the car, and he's taking a while. So I'm like, what the fuck? I know all my shit is straight. My tag is straight. My license is straight. I don't have no warrants. I'm good, bro. I'm good. So I'm just
54.
chilling. I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? Light up a black and mild. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, another FHP rolls up. Then 5 minutes later, another FHP rolls up. 4 FHP police, 3 in regular squad cars, 1 in the SUV with a K9. So they come back to the car. They tell me to get out, and I'm like, what's the reason for me getting out? You know what I'm saying? Like, all my shit is legit. I know it is.
Right.
He's like, just step out of the car, and we'll explain to you. So I step out the car, and without even them asking me, they put me in handcuffs. So they detain me. So I said, am I getting arrested or am I getting detained? He goes, you're getting detained. I was like, okay, that's cool. I was like, what's going on?
What's the problem?
Yeah. So before he can even tell me, or I can assess the problem, like I can see what the fuck is going around around me. The other 3 cops start going in my car. Didn't ask me. Didn't say there was a search warrant. Didn't nothing before he starts.
They have to give you actual permission. All kind of shit. Violated your rights.
Didn't even ask me. So they're going. And when I tell you these dudes was going in my car, these dudes were going in my car. They were throwing stuff on the road, in the highway, clothes, boxes, everything, CDs, all my shit was rolling out. So he then turns me around. He's like, come over here, let me talk to you. So he's like, we had a call come in for a car that matched your description. He's like, where are you coming from? I said, I'm coming from Plantation. What are you doing? I said, I was watching UFC fight with my boys. I was like, I just called them to let them know that I was on my way home. I'm 5 minutes from my crib. If you want to reach for my phone in my pocket, you can recall them and ask them, their information. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no problems. So he's like, well, let's just finish what we got going on here, and then we'll see what the real problem is. So they're going in the car, dude. Everything is on the floor. Like, when I say everything, like, just regular stuff you keep in your car: extra pair of shoes, gym shorts, gym bags, CDs, music, whatever the case may be. Everything is out on the floor, like spread out. So cars are going by, and they're looking at me all crazy and stuff. So
that's another thing that a lot of people don't take into accommodation, bro. That shit is fucking embarrassing, bro, and humiliating.
Yeah, well, it's not so much embarrassing. It's like,
it's humiliating though, for sure.
Yeah, it's like,
they throwing all your fucking personal belongings.
I shouldn't even be here.
I shouldn't be getting treated like this either. I'm in handcuffs and shit.
Yeah. So about 25 minutes go by, and they're searching, they're popping hoods, they're popping trunks now, they're going in and out, in and out. They can't find nothing, right? So he goes, we didn't find anything in the car, but your car matched the description. We're gonna run some stuff by dispatch, yada yada yada. I was like, cool, no problem.
Do you
So the
think?
other three officers, they get in their cars and they leave, like just
Right.
straight out, just leave.
They know ain't
And
no
I'm left,
problem.
yeah, I'm left with the dude. The dude comes back, he hands me all my information, and well, he sets it in my car. I'm still detained. Takes me out of the handcuffs, and he goes, "We got the wrong car. It's a wrong description. You have a good night." Left all my shit on the floor, dude. All my shit in the middle of the highway. I'm just off the exit.
Like
I'm
fuck
still,
you.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have a good night. And peels off. So now I have to come within myself, you know what I'm saying, to not be angry and not be mad. And I have to sit there
Right.
and pick up all my shit and feel the way that I feel, because I hate to say it, I just got like almost damn near like racially profiled. Even
No,
though it
you
was a
definitely.
even though it was a wrong description of the car,
No,
all the
that's
all the police were white. There was one Latino. All of
okay.
them were white, working
Let me
for
tell you this.
FHP.
Let me tell you this. Let me just say this, even for my just for my black listeners and shit like that. Y'all listening to this and y'all saying, "Nigga, that's how it goes," right? That's how it
Yeah,
goes,
yeah,
man.
and
It
that's
goes. Oh, you match a description. You fit a description. It was anybody from 5'2" to 6'7". Yeah, you fit
mm-hmm,
the description. And guess what, my nigga? You fit the description, and they doing whatever they want to do, and they get away with it. You seen, if he would have found a little piece of roach or weed or something like that, and they unlawfully searched your car, he could have took you to jail for that little bullshit. That's something you write a ticket about anyways, but he could have wasted your time and put you in jail and all of that. And then you know that's something that we're not gonna necessarily pay a lawyer to fight for in court, when
yeah,
we could
yeah,
pay $100 to get out of jail, and then they're gonna dismiss the shit anyways. But it's like, you really want to do all of that to me and put me in the system and do all of
mm-hmm,
that, and really waste my time just because you have the authority to, and you don't even get held accountable for that. So when those
yeah.
dismissals happen and shit like that, and they find that, they should do that investigation and see, oh, this person was detained under these reasons, and I looked at the A form, and that shit ain't even adding up and all of that. And the people that fight these cases, they win on that grounds, but nothing happens to the police.
To the
Nothing.
police, yeah. That's why I said they get to a certain stage, and they just get away with it. And you know, back to touch on what we were talking about, is just that it becomes a point where it's like, if the government and, the mayors and the city, whoever it is may be, like, if y'all not gonna do nothing, we gonna do something. we gonna
Exactly.
we gonna make it be known. So like, don't get it twisted, because I've already had Facebook messages and Instagram messages, and people on my posts and people on my shit deleting me, blocking me. I don't give a
Hmm.
shit. I don't give a shit.
Same with
First of
me
all,
too.
I don't give a shit. But let it be known. Trust me. Let it be known. And you know me. I am not a racist. I am not siding with the bullshit. I am not saying that anything, not even just this incident, prior incidents, to what we, from as far back as we can recollect, because I'm only 33, you're just underneath me. So I mean, as much far back as we can go that we can remember, you know,
Hmm.
I've always had, the community's back. I hate to say, I don't want to say the black people or the black community. I have the whole. I treat us as a whole. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't have that right. You obviously, being a black American, have that right. I can't. I don't want to call people out of their names, because to me, you're my brother. Not just saying that
Yeah.
because you're my dog, you're my friend, but you are my brother. You've never done me wrong. There's no reason why I should label you a black man, or
Right.
or
Right.
or you know what
Because
I'm
of
saying,
our
like,
already established relationship and things like that. I get what you're
that
saying.
that that that's part of it too. But even if I just met you, Cam, down the block,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Let's say I just see you do something good. Let's say I see you walk an old lady across the street, or you hold a door for somebody. You know what I'm
Anything,
saying?
right?
I'm gonna
Any
acknowledge
gesture that
that.
way. Yeah,
I'm
for a
gonna
fact.
acknowledge, and I was
And
like,
a
bro,
human, because that's the human thing.
yeah. And the thing is, to me, it's like, like, I get these messages and I get these posts and people yelling at me and blah blah blah, and saying that, you're Latino, you have no say in this. But little do you know, that back in the 50s and the 60s, like when I say this, I'm not joking. You can look it up. We were in the same boat as the Negroes.
Oh,
We
for a
were in
fact.
the same boat. They
For a
didn't
fact.
allow us nowhere. And we were
Hmm.
fighting the same fight back then. Even
Yeah,
back
with
then,
us
all the way,
though. With us.
because
Crazy shit.
we were in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? You could look
Hmm.
it up. It's documented. There's
Nah, I
pictures. There's
know.
video.
We
You
don't
know,
want. They
I
talking
know
about
you know.
they used to
I know
spell
you know.
right, but for the listeners, of course, they used to spell uh Puerto Rican. They would spell the name all wrong and all fucked up, and
Yeah,
you
they
don't
put
want
no
no
U in
engine.
it. They put no
Yeah,
U in it.
and then
They
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 used to put
spelt it how it
engines
sounds. Yeah, they
for
spelt it how it
Indians,
sounds.
Native
Porto.
Americans. Yeah,
Porto. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it bothers me that
just to
people
spite,
would
just to spite.
yeah, they would rather push me away or push you away in this fact, since you agree that you've been getting the hate mail and you know the despiteful comments, that you would rather push your own brother or your own sister away and not understand and sit down and at least have a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of times,
You have every right to be upset. And you have every right to your opinion. I'm not saying that you can't talk. We have a freedom of speech. We're doing it right now. You know what I'm
facts.
saying? But this is how I feel and this is where I stand. And then this is how you feel and this is how you stand. That's why it's called a debate. And that's why we protest. Because people need to open their eyes and understand the misunderstandings that they are dealing with.
And the thing
Because
is this, I,
nobody's
s-
built the same. You feel me?
no, no, nobody's wired the same. Nobody has the same way of learning and understanding. But it's like sometimes you got to put things in their face. Okay, cool. But then they have a responsibility to allow themselves to put themselves in other people's shoes. And the thing is this: if you don't understand something, that don't mean you shun it. You don't shun what you don't understand. You understand? You know what I mean? That would be the most ignorant thing ever to do. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so as far as the people that hear me say, oh yeah, they justified and this, that, and the other, it's like, yeah, they're justified, and I gotta tell you why they justified. So you haven't been here the whole time, you haven't been living in this world the whole time, or you just haven't felt that this whole time. Either way, we talk about it and we discuss it, but when, most of the time in these discussions, what happens is this: they are reading, or in other words, they would be listening to respond and not listening to understand. And that's
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
problem. Like,
Mhm.
you're listening to tell me some shit about the laws and this and that and why, yeah, all of this other shit, and Barack Obama and the plague of this time, and nigga, all of that shit don't got shit to do with what we feel about what just happened, what's been happening, and the unfairness that's been happening to blacks and minorities alike since the beginning of time, since we got into this motherfucker. And it ain't no secret. Even
Yeah.
even Native American, my Native American brothers and my Native American family, they already know, the discrimination that takes place on different reservations, and just in life in general, period, point blank, for having fair skin or whatever the case may be. And my daughter is one of the fair skinned ones that she's light skinned and things like that, but she's mixed. My mother, same way, she's light skinned and things like that, but she's mixed. And that don't
Mhm.
stop no racism. That actually enhances the racism,
Yep.
because these
Yep.
people find any kind of way to be saying any kind of little bullshit, and it's
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's not even that easy. They see the light skin and they automatically classify you as black, anyways. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't
It
really
don't
matter
matter.
if you're mixed or you light skinned or any of that. It's just
And
like they
some
see
and in
you
most
and
cases they get it a little worse because their white counterparts kind of find them a little more accepting, but they remember, hey, remember, you're black, you're the black girl.
oh yeah, you heard it with Barack. They're like, oh yeah, he might be, he might be he have a little light skin in him, but at the end of the day, he's still black. He's still a
Right.
black president. He's still
Real,
black. He's
yeah,
still black.
real
Like you know
shit.
what I'm saying? Like I understand that, but at the end of the day, he's not just black. He's a mixed individual. He comes from all different angles of the world. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? If
uh-huh.
he wants to classify himself as that, then that's all well and good. But the facts are the facts. But I'm not
Right.
gonna go around and say like, I'm Puerto Rican and Italian. I'm not calling myself, a Caucasian. When I fill out an application, I put Latino down. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Or if it's tricky when it comes to that. And then like they wanna put each person in a different category, and that's it. It's like white, black,
Mhm.
Spanish, other. That's it. There's nothing in
That's
between.
that's a European thing. Now I'm gonna say this too, because a lot of people that know their history, I want them to listen to this and think that we aren't quote unquote woke or some shit like that. Back in, we could talk about this shit, dog, and that's a real deep conversation. But
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say, uh, how white people got here. All I will say is this. Um, as far as that goes, right? Um, the European folks and things like that, with the ways they are, they got shunned as well in different times, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And they fought and they revolted and they did their nasty ways to manipulate getting on top. Now I will say this, right? We're talking about 2020 America. We're
Hmm.
talking about, nations, and we're talking about different people that already have an understanding, a full understanding and full knowledge of how things should be based on history and based on the fuck ups of our forefathers on
Yeah.
any side. So I'm
Yeah.
just talking about on a human level, right? So if we're trying to advance as human beings, saying that, oh yeah, we doing what we do, we moving up, we got all this advanced technology and all this old shit. Why are we advancing as a people towards each other? It just don't make no sense in an
Yeah.
in an evolutional way. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you just look at it from that standpoint, we're supposed to be evolving as people. We're supposed to be getting closer, and it shows. You see it in the protests. You don't see just black people out there protesting.
No,
You
you see
see
everybody.
all races, and then they leaking out to all nations now. So
Yeah.
this is powerful stuff, and this shows that this man's life that he lost, that everybody seen, was not in vain. That it horrified everybody and it touched everybody in one way or another. And
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it really
care.
it really meant something.
Right, and I don't care. Some of these people that are saying, "Hey, look, this ain't the way to do it," and they super defending that it ain't the way to do it, and they keep on saying why it ain't, why it ain't, why it ain't, and it just comes down to me saying, "Well, so be it." The
Hmm.
whole bottom line is, you know, if you were outraged by the video, right, and that's what sparked all of this, anyways. You're like, I admit that was wrong. That was wrong. Then just admit that was wrong.
Yeah.
Don't tell nobody how to feel it was right or was wrong, because guess what? We live in a society where we, the people, decide on what's right or what's wrong. The majority rules. It
Hmm.
comes down to the election. It comes down to all of that shit. So if we just have to say that for the sake of just that, then let's just say it for the sake of just that. Everybody, even the people that's going for the, hey, this ain't the way to do it, and they just super going with that, cool, because I feel the same way that it's not the way to do it. But I'm super for the other side. Like you're super
Yeah.
for the other side. Like
Yeah.
not you, but like they are super for the other side. So what it comes down to is, yeah, you have to acknowledge what side of the fence that you're on, so that you know what cause you're going towards. Now you can start getting organized so that both parties could come together. You understand?
Hmm.
Because if
Yeah.
I know, okay, look, okay, we get it. That's not the way to do it. So what can we suggest? What can we put to the table? And what I have suggested, and like I said again, like I said earlier in the podcast, um, I suggest that any community leaders that already have a reputation, that already have a following of respect, of respected individuals that respect you equally,
Yeah.
and that respect what you have to say, and that will listen and lend an ear, and also, give their, whether they agree or not, they will give their what can I say, constructive criticism, or they will
Hmm.
give their knowledgeable opinion in a healthy way, that we could
Yep.
talk about it like adults to get to a better point, whether you're for one side or another, and you're that leader. That's what it is. You stand on
Yeah.
your 2 feet about it and say, yeah, dog, I'm a fucking business owner, and I don't care about no amount of insurance or none of that shit. I don't want the shit that I work for to be destroyed. I'm for that, dog. I feel the same way, because
100%. Yeah.
if I had a brick and mortar business, a smoke shop or anything like that, any little brick barber shop, anything, and I see motherfuckers vandalizing it, just like on barbershop, the same shit that you seen Cedric the Entertainer do. You know what I mean? When those trying to throw that
Mm-hmm.
Molotov through that window, that's the same shit I'm standing on. Hell no, not this one, dog. This shit black owned, man. So when you have that kind of stuff going, that's misguided shit. But if we could get organized and guide this shit, you know what I mean? And we'll do a healthy protest and things like that. And if shit get out of
Yeah.
hand, we already ready for that.
Yeah.
Because shit be getting out of hand and it don't be our fault. Like if you look at these videos that are unfolding, some of this shit the police are doing, some of this shit, I mean the nasty shit, the
Yeah. Yeah.
letting
Yeah.
letting the female vandalize it and make it seem like the black people do it or somebody else done did it, and then the people that are looting, they making pictures in the media showing just black people leaving when we clearly see everybody doing the shit, whether it's right or what's wrong. Don't The way that we're portrayed in America is the whole reason that we're fed up. The way that we get disrespected and get downgraded when we're supposed to get justice is the reason why we're fed up. The reason it's so easy to do that fucking shit to us is because we program other Americans and other people to see that it's okay because that's believable. That's why a lady
Mm-hmm.
can push her disabled son in the fucking lake and say, "Oh, two black guys did it." That's why Jussie Smollett can make up a whole motherfucking scenario where
Yeah.
black guys came in and kidnapped him and called him gay or whatever the fuck he said. And that is all too common in our community when we have so much influence on American culture. We got so many people rapping and having influence from different races because of us. And that's just the truth, period, point blank. So when
Yeah.
it comes down to it, if the minorities have all of this type of control, why are we using it the way we supposed to be using it then? You know why? You know why though? Because the powers that be won't allow it to be used for that. They allow it to be used for the "I'm a savage" shit. They want all the females saying they a savage. They want all the females saying "real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga" and shit like that. And they want all the guys saying, "I fuck on you bitch and I don't give a fuck." And
Yeah.
all and
Yeah.
to divide that, to have this divide between men and women and minorities specifically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So with that,
They're targeted.
we're targeted, man, all day in America. So that Wale video, I don't know if y'all seen it, the listeners and things too. The Wale video is powerful, man, because it puts you in a state where it's not white America, it's a black America, right? Where everything from the Quaker Oats man is black, melanin oats and shit like that. And
Yeah.
it opens your eyes and it really makes you see. It makes you appreciate what
Yeah.
what's
Black
up with
culture. Yeah.
black culture, man. And you
That's the
see
thing too.
it's crazy.
I don't want to cut you off. That's the
Nah,
thing
go
too
ahead.
because me, and growing up, music played a big part in both of our lives,
Oh, for a
and
fact, man.
you know what I'm
Brought
saying,
us
like
together and
that's
all that.
yeah, yeah, and that alone is black culture. Sports, I don't care if it was made by a white man, it's now black culture.
Factual.
Basketball, football, it's all ran by blacks.
Right. I
Which
never
which
heard nobody
which
say. Go
I
ahead.
mean, there's also whites that play, Tom Brady,
No,
Dan Marino, and
they're
stuff like
raw
that.
now.
They're
We
raw,
got
yeah,
influence.
but
Yeah.
like a majority based of what we like in America is black culture, the
We know what's
art,
going
the
on. Yeah.
music, the clothing, the drip, whatever you want to call it, bro.
Mhm.
It's all came from
The
the
lingo,
black
everything, man.
culture, everything, the hairstyles, the shoes, the list goes on, bro. And
Man, listen.
I have nothing but respect. And the thing that it got me the most,
Mhm.
that hit me the most during all this and even before, I'm gonna touch back on Colin because I have so much respect for Colin because
Factual.
his protest to me was underrated. You know why? Because he didn't get enough respect for it. Not coming from your side, but I mean as a whole generation.
Media
Yes,
attention, and
yes,
also us
because
as a people. I feel like more
yeah,
people could have went stronger for him, for a
yeah.
fact.
Because the thing is to me when he did that and he was protesting for what he believed in, which was the black community, Black Lives Matter, and the oppression of blacks as a whole in America. They
Mhm.
only focused 85% of it was he's no longer allowed in the NFL. It
Yeah,
was all about him not
and
being
like,
able to play, and not
come on.
enough of what he's doing it for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then like this is why I'm starting to slowly like regret saying, like, like, I wouldn't say it was bad stuff. I would say, like, I was all for, like, everybody's doing it wrong. The
Yeah.
riots, I mean, it's wrong in a sense, but it's like, dude, what do we have to do? What do we have to
Yeah.
do? And
That's
I
what it
can
comes
side.
down to,
And the
fam.
thing is, yeah, the
Right.
thing is, the more I see it, and I mean, like, I know it pains people to, like, sit there and watch your own city, your own community, your own houses, your own business burn down. It's like, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
what else are we supposed to do? Because once those buildings and that Target caught on fire, oh boy, let me tell you, the whole rest of the world caught on fire, bro. The
Yeah.
whole world caught on fire.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes you got to do that, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, like, you got to understand that, in the words of Kaepernick himself, you know what I'm saying, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's like
Powerful.
me and you. That's like me and you. I got nieces. I don't have children yet, but you have a daughter. If it came down to the
Yes.
point where there was somebody standing in front of you and your daughter with a gun, I would have no doubt in my mind that you would stand there and take every bullet until you were done.
I've stood in
You
front
understand?
of I've stood in front of homeboys, dog. So you know how
Exactly.
I'm going to
Exactly.
shield my daughter for a
You
fact.
know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to take those sacrifices. And the thing is, everything sometimes, you have to burn it down to rebuild it. You understand? And
Factual.
I'm
Factual.
slowly and I'm slowly agreeing with that. And I'm
Mhm.
slowly understanding that sometimes, it takes drastic measures. There was
Oh, for a
riots in the
fact,
past.
man.
There was
Oh yeah.
protests in the past. There was
Oh yeah.
burnings. There was car flips. There was yelling at the police. There was doing all this stuff in the past. And we're still doing it in 2020. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Not saying it's not getting any better, but we're in the same position, and we're
Mhm.
asking each other, and we're looking in each other's faces, and we're saying, dude, what do we have to do? What they not
Right.
listening. They not
Right.
listening. That's the biggest thing to me. So, like, when I see all this happening, yeah, a part of me and you was like, damn, this is some messed up shit, bro. Like, we're really out here damaging the cities, and I want them
Right.
to stop. But you're putting, like you said in the beginning of the podcast, man, you're putting us in a corner, and you're giving
Yeah.
us very little or no options. So what do you want us to do as a whole?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to do, bro?
Y'all don't even
Because
want to prosecute. Y'all don't even want to prosecute people on the basis of their crimes. Y'all want to wait until it gets social media and we got to get outraged about it, and then 2 months later say, "Oh yeah, you know what? We should charge them with murder because people are mad." No,
yeah,
that shit is
it should
wrong.
it that shit is wrong. You took somebody's life. I don't care. If it's not justified, if this man wasn't charging after you with an AK high off fucking PCP,
You
I
know,
don't want to hear it. I don't want to
these
hear it.
people be sober minded, healthy individuals that you can literally talk to, and some of them are pissed off already when you get to them, because by the time you get to them and shit like that, you already coming at motherfuckers fucked up. You already done violated rights, because somebody, I know, bro, I know when I haven't been doing shit, when I'm just leaving out the store and they telling me, hey, get against the wall. I'm like, what? And they pushing me against the wall. Motherfucker, get against the wall, I said. And it's like, okay. And it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you fit a description and all of this kind of shit. And it's like,
Yep.
y'all, how I fit a description? Y'all seen us come in the store and y'all waited for us to fucking come out. That's what happened. And we know
Yep.
what happened. But then by that time, we getting mad and agitated and shit like that. Now we in a hostile position and a hostile environment,
Yeah.
dog.
And then not only that, I don't want to cut you off again. Um, Not only that, it puts you in an agitated state. And then guess what?
Yeah.
Now the police is like, oh, now we got them riled up. They're gonna do something dumb. Now is our opportunity to do something. You
Yep.
understand? It's like they're already mad. They're gonna do some stupid stuff. Somebody's gonna hit me. Somebody's gonna, reach for something in their pocket or whatever, or try to take
Yeah.
off. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be different if you just pulled me to the side and talk to me like a human. Like, hey, look, man, we got a phone call, somebody, you know what I'm saying? Can I just see some ID? I don't
Yeah.
want no, hey, talk to me like a human, bro. You act like I'm just gonna automatically attack you because you police. That's not the issue here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like, don't come agitate me and disrupt my being and my peace and my soul because you have it built inside of you that you want to just be, you know what I'm saying, a dickhead. And you want to push my buttons to where you want me to do something so you can retaliate and feel good about yourself. You understand? It's like, hey, look, bro, I don't mean to bother you on tonight. You know what I'm saying? I got a phone call. You know, a description kind of matched you. I just want to see some IDs. Run through your system real quick. It'll take me 5 minutes. If you know it's not you, just side with me. You know what I'm saying? And if you know you good, guess what, man? Here's my wallet. Here's all my shit, bro. Here's everything. Look me up, bro. I know I'm good. I
Yep.
mean, hopefully I know I'm good. I don't got no warrants or nothing like that. But
Yeah,
I'm not
but
that type of person. But
even if we'll get to that point, when we get to that point, my
exactly.
thing is these
Talk to
people,
me. Talk to me. No,
we never
they
get to
don't.
that point.
They get no chances, bro. They get no chances. Like another thing, I just saw another video. I forgot what location it was at, but the protesters, two college students were riding on the highway going home. You seen that one? And they pulled them out the car.
I don't think I've seen that.
I'm gonna tag you in it after the podcast. These two college students had nothing to do with the protest, nothing to do with the riots. Got dragged out of their cars, maced, all that, bro, for nothing. For these cops literally chased the car down on foot, banged on the doors, banged on the windows, opened the door, pulled both the man and the girl out the car, harassed them, maced them, everything, violated every type of right they had. For what? For what? What's the reason?
Their justification is gonna be, well, you must have been one of the rioters.
I saw you do something and get in your car. It's like, come on, bro.
But they didn't get who they wanted, so they got who they got, and that's just what it comes down to. And
man.
and that's unfortunate, man. Like, it happens way too often, bro. And that's what we having the state of emergency that we having now. The shit that's going on now. And the thing is, our nation's leader, he's not a person that is a very leader. He's not a real
leadership.
Leader. No leadership there.
At all.
What it comes down to is he is basically not even addressing the public in a way that really addresses the issues that's going on. He's actually addressing things that have nothing to do with the actual business at hand, and that is misleadership and misinformation.
And that's the thing. It's like you look for leadership in some type of way or some type of fashion, and like I just don't see it with the president. Like he's not in a position. Well, I mean, he is in a position, but he's not in the position personally to, like, be that guide and be that leadership and be the person that everybody's supposed to look up to. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be somebody during these times that people look for hope and inspiration and motivation and safety. You know what I'm saying? He lacks all of that tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know him personally, but by what he's showing me, before I hopped on the podcast, I saw the speech he gave like 2 hours ago in regards to the looting and everything like that. And he started off talking about George, and then the rest of the 7-minute speech, the excerpt that they gave on Channel 7 on their Facebook was like 8 minutes long. He talked about George for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Didn't address the cop, didn't address the killing, didn't tell me how he felt about it, if it was unjust, if he was angry, and then he went on to brag for 6 to 7 minutes about how he's gonna launch all the military. He's bringing in the National Guard, and he's saying that if anybody goes against him, they're gonna be locked up for a very, very long time.
Yeah, he's talking about 10 years and all of this crazy shit. And I'm like,
you're supposed to be reassuring people. I mean, I know you have a job, and I know it's tough that people are out here damaging, what they're doing to the community. But at the same time, it's like people are looking for you for hope, to understand what we got going on. Don't just put it in my face and mush it in my face that you got all this power.
You're a leader of a nation,
one of the biggest, yeah.
Yeah, we are. Like, I know they try to say this, that, and the other, but look, the bottom line is what we supposed to mean to the world and what we mean to each other, right? As a nation, right? We're supposed to be held to this super high esteem, and the only thing that you got for us, to the people that's out here protesting, is that you'll get locked up, you'll get shot, you'll get maced. We're giving the police all green light to do whatever they need to do to hurt you and to, you know what I'm saying, and subdue you because of something that is already systematically put in place to get to that nature, when you can honestly get up there and say, you know what, this is a problem in America, obviously. So what I'm going to do is we're going to call, a truce. We're going to call a truce with the police departments of America, all of the city police departments, and all of the state, highway patrolmen. We're going to go ahead and reassess what we're doing, because we won't stand for it as Americans, and say shit like that. Because guess what? If you stand on that side, you would say shit like that. And it's so obvious that he don't stand on that side. It was obvious when he was when in Puerto Rico, you have all of these people with no lights, no water, no nothing, and you're shooting hoops, throwing paper towels at them, fam. Like, what kind of humanity is that? Like, I want to slap the shit out of you, and you're a billionaire.
You're
gonna jump right up on your jet and go play golf after this, and you got the nerve to do that.
Yeah, then he takes forever to give them the support that they need, regardless of what's going on. It's still a U.S. territory. Those are U.S. people. You know what I'm saying? Like, those people
citizens.
are us. Yeah,
and
those
then
people
not only
are
that,
us.
okay, they're not us. Okay, let's just say they're our ally. Anything, bro. You're a human being. We have the access to do it, but because they are U.S. territory, we have a duty to do it. It's a duty. It's not like it's a what if or should we thing. Do we have enough money? We don't have enough money. How the fuck y'all ain't got enough money for that? But then y'all could throw out these stimulus checks, and then the stimulus checks ain't shit because y'all just gave these Fortune 500 companies like $500 million within a 20-day span, a 2-week span, and we're supposed to be happy with that corner that you gave us, and that's a shame, because that money, that same 500 million and things like that, could have went towards another fund, could have went towards something that could have benefited Americans during this time, because we are the people, bro. And it's what's making it more of a problem or of a fed up thing is that y'all just had us in the house for 2-3 months, and then you're gonna go and as soon as y'all try to open up states, you're gonna go kill somebody and do all of this crazy shit one after one, and now all of a sudden it's not about the coronavirus no more. It's just about this, and everybody that's out there is no longer about safety or anything like that. And it is in certain places. You'll see people, because I was out there in Tampa and I seen people handing out the face masks and lights, like offering people they sanitize them and handing them gloves. And I seen like a lady doing that, and there were a couple of people doing that in different pictures. The whole bottom line though is, this is now the agenda. This is now the thing that's being pushed. And now when you start to see, bricks lined up, just got there out of nowhere. How the fuck those bricks just end up right there on the side of the road in front of a company so that you can throw them at the company and throw them at the policemen and throw them at people? No, that's not people. And these people are peaceful protesting with, kids, and they got jobs, and these are upstanding citizens and shit like that. They looking at those bricks like, what? Why are they out here? And that makes them question the government and the system that they have so much faith in. So now it's like the same truth that they say they trying to hide, that they've been putting in our face so long, but they've been hiding real good. It's like if people really wake up, they'll really see what's really going on, what's really happening right now. And that shit is crazy that we're getting to this point, but it was already written, So what'll be a good time, and what we should be talking about as well, is solutions, right? But and one of the things that we for sure have to do, besides getting organized, is spiritually we need to get right. And that's just, and I don't know how many people are listening that are spiritual people or are religious people, but if you know what this looks like, don't take it lightly. Don't take the rumors of wars lightly. Don't take the famine. Don't take the people fighting. Don't take the riots. Don't take the devilish system and the corrupt leaders lightly, because we already know how this shit ends. So I have a duty to say that. I have a duty to say that, whether people want to hear it or not, and I say it in a respectful way, because I don't want to offend anybody that's listening as well. So at the end of the day, whatever you believe in spiritually, you need to get right with that spirituality of your understanding and stand on that. Because the thing is, we get into some times where we need that energy. We get into around some dark energy, and we
Mhm.
need that light, because they killing all of the light. They killing the light off, you know,
Yep.
and it making people that have that light not want to shine. You know what I mean? I'm an
Mm.
extroverted person. I've been very, very extroverted lately, but uh, I've been forced to be introverted. Because
Yeah.
it's because half of that is because society fakes a lot of who they really are, and I never want to be getting caught faking some shit. You understand me? Like, and everybody that knows me knows that this is me and this is the person that I always been. Like, you don't gotta fake that shit when you authentically who you are. You know, and some people try to be harder than hard. Some people try to flex, like they have more than they have. And all of that shit
Mhm.
means nothing at the end of the day, because guess what? In the state that we're about to be in, you may want to get close to people who are, just about uh the human things and not the self-conscious things, about the real
Yeah.
shit and not about the shit that could fade away at any time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
These Balenciaga runners ain't going nowhere. And as a matter of fact, motherfuckers done went and snatched some of them. So they ain't
You
like
ain't
they really
lying.
sought after no more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, you don't have to do all of that shit. Let's get real about life and let's start really getting organized and trying to do shit with our money and trying to put people in positions to where they want to get motivated and they can get motivated. They
Yeah.
can I can get motivated because I'm being incentivized for my time, you know, and shit like that. And that takes toll with community leaders and people who we look up to in the community. And what I mean by the community, I'm talking about the football players. I'm talking about the NBA players where we
Mhm.
go out, we buy all their shit, we buy all their motherfucking merchandise, we call them the GOAT, and we do all of that kind of shit. We need them to say, hey, I like what y'all got going on. I want to fund it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
got $500,000 behind this because this could work for what y'all have going on. I got, and then my homeboy over here, he got his checkbook open, and we're gonna start a fund for y'all. And yeah, that kind of shit. Now you have paid servicemen, you have employees that run this shit, and yeah, we a group and we organize like that. But this money that's getting funded is for people like us to be out there in the streets talking to people, paying some people's bills, helping out single
Mhm.
mothers and shit like that,
Mhm.
and also giving back to the community in the way of free lunches and different shit like that. And that comes from a fund, and you get that funding from people that have that kind of money, these business owners and these well-off people. Now how
Yeah.
we sustain that is through different investments, being smart, educating our youth about finances, about credit, about all the important shit that they leave out in all 12 years of going to school. And once you go beyond, then you start to see, oh shit, there's other things that you need to know. The real world
Mhm.
hits you, and they'll go you one way or another. You'll find out what you need to do. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So that's the kind of things that I feel that I would as far as solutions, that's the kind of solutions that I would bring to the table as far as trying to problem solve this. Because if we get that kind of organization going to where we look at each other in a different light, so they have to as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes
Because
perfect sense.
how you feel about you is how you're gonna be portrayed. Like, if it, listen, I'm a king in every sense of that, and I'm gonna get a little bit not off base, but I'm gonna say this to prove a point. Um, you're a king, and
Mhm.
your queen treats you like a king, right? And because of that, you hold yourself to that esteem when you walk out the door, when you go anywhere you go. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't hold yourself to that esteem if nobody's treating you like that. So, or if you don't feel that way about yourself. You understand? You have to love yourself first, because to be
Yeah.
kingly is to know that you're kingly. So to know that you're worth, to know your royalty, and to love yourself because of that. So if I love myself and I love on me like that, the person that I'm with and people around me, I expect that love back, and I'm supposed to give that love as well to my
Yeah.
loved ones. Now, what happens is, and you'll see it, is that against each other, we don't necessarily look at each other as the king that we supposed to be looking at. Like if I look at you
Mhm.
and I say that I'm this and I'm that, I can't look at you and say that you're not. Especially if you coming from the same cloth that I'm coming from and we have the same understandings, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then as far as a race thing, if we're gonna say as far as black men in America, man, you already know, man. Like a lot, you and everybody listening, y'all know, especially in fucking Broward and Dade County, in Palm Beach, all that shit.
Mhm.
You walk around and you see a dude walking past you on the sidewalk, or you going in the store and a dude walking past you going out the store. How many times that nigga done looked at you kind of sideways and you look at him kind of sideways and y'all look at each other and y'all turn y'all head and all that antisocial ass behavior for what? For what?
Yeah.
I don't know this nigga. And then a lot of times when I see that, cause I'm kind of an OG in the game now, so even when I was young, I used to nip that shit in the bud. All right, y'all. All right, now. And I wouldn't have them kind of problems a lot of times. But you know when niggas just be on some fuck shit and they looking for that. You know how
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
times we done gave them what they want and on some other
Mhm.
shit. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's like, and when you're not living like that no more, or when you just, because I can still, anybody can still come that shit could come out at any time. I pray for it not to come out these days. And that's the
Yeah.
difference
Facts.
between being mature and being an adolescent. As much as I was smart for my age, I was very much so my age. Period. Point blank. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever was popular at the time, whether it was fighting, whether it was selling drugs, whether it was just doing some shit that was just illegal for the rush, stealing some shit, whatever the fuck it was. Um, that's what was popular at that time, or whatever I was influenced behind, I did it. But
Yeah.
I also always had the mind that I was still a great kid. I was still someone that was loved by my peers and my family and my loved ones. I was still somebody that still had a lot of integrity. Like if some like you told me, and look, hey, Cam, tell me you did that, Cam. You had winning, yeah, bro. That shit went down. Yeah, of course, because I'm held
Mhm.
to a different integrity, and I'm the kind of person that a lot of times if I did something, I'll be like, yeah, fuck it, I did it so when it come
Yeah.
down to it, because that's in my nature. I can't speak for a lot of other people. Whether I'm right or wrong, it is what it is. Because we all live in life. So who am I to tell you what's right or wrong? Well, you to tell me is right or wrong. Yeah, we can say that because morally we know what's right or wrong. Morally. And,
Yeah.
and if I was ever doing some stupid ass shit, I would love for somebody that care about me to tell me that was some stupid ass shit. So when
Yeah.
it comes down,
Facts.
and back to what we were saying, just to get back on the topic, if we're having morality and we're being held to these accountabilities, the people of America, like I mean white America, and I don't want to sound racist or anything like that, but we're just gonna say it for jokes and giggles. Everybody say, "Oh, the Karens and things like that of America." The ones
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, even them though, the ones that that are very middle aged white women, very well, kind of well off soccer momish type of those vibes, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
are cool as hell, and they seeing this stuff, they're outraged, man, and they're starting to speak out, they're starting to protest. And when that stuff happens, eh, not only me, I'm pretty sure, because we gonna protest all day, minorities are gonna protest all day, but when they protest, for me personally, I feel like, damn, nigga, we might be making some progress because they gonna listen to her. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
not only that, they out there shooting bullets at those same people, man. That girl that got the rubber bullet that you posted shot in her head. I'm sitting there
Mhm.
thinking like, bro, that's horrific, man. And that's the kind of stuff that's gonna be in Time magazine 10 years from now, dating back to 2020 and how it started off, how that decade started off. You know,
Yeah.
and the way
Yeah.
things are going, man, if we don't nip stuff in the bud now, 20, 2030 is gonna look crazy as hell, man. As far as the system and things like that, we swear that we such a free, diplomatic, nation and things like that. But at the end of the day, man, if this shit don't look like communism, then I don't know.
Yeah. It's very tricky to talk about because there's so many different avenues you could
And I
take. But
don't want to offend nobody. I don't want to
nah,
offend
nah,
nobody.
man. Hey, like I said, listen, this podcast ain't got no rules, ain't got no bars. If you felt
100.
some type of way, you hit us up on Facebook or IG, instant mess. What I about to say,
Yeah.
AIM, bro. I about to say instant message. I'm showing my
Facts.
age now, bro. But if you
Facts.
guys got any topics or anything that we discussed that you guys are unsure or didn't like too much, you let us know and we'll talk it out, just like how me and Cam talked it out. Because
Yeah.
there's the touch on my solutions and what I'm gonna piggyback off yours, and then we'll wrap things up.
Facts.
um it's exactly how you said it. You basically took the words out of my mouth. The first thing is we have to organize. We have to it's like this. Our grandparents and parents and great grandparents had their Malcolm X's, had their Martin Luther Kings. And
Exactly.
you know,
Mark.
we
All of
we
that.
yeah, we kind of had Barack. I put
Mhm.
Barack up there, 'cause for him being colored, and for
Mhm.
what he did for us in America
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But I 100% agree on organization. If we can come together as a community rather than, you know, like you said, shunning us away and being afraid, um, that's where it starts the most, because now we come to realization and we come to an agreement that there is a problem and that we can address the problem, and now we're trying to correct the problem. But the thing is that it's understanding. Like, I use that word a lot when I talk about this, is because you need to understand the fact of what you need to understand, the grip of what's going on and what factors are being played into why people are outraged and why people are doing such things. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm. Mhm.
like you
A
said.
lot of people don't understand, and that's the part of the problem. And we spoke on that, but it's like, if you don't understand, and I'll say this shit again, if you don't understand, okay, cool. Don't understand. Don't have a fucking opinion though about what somebody's supposed to be doing, to the point that you're falling out with family and friends
Yeah,
behind that
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
not even worth it, for one, and then two, it's just a further divide. We all really saying the same shit,
yeah.
when it
It's
really
just
comes down to it.
yeah, it's valuing other people's opinions and valuing their outlooks. All because you say something that I don't agree with doesn't make me
Hmm.
hate you. It shouldn't make me hate you, and that's what
No,
people need to
a
understand.
lot of
You know what
times
I'm saying?
it come down to people saying this, right? I hear people saying shit like this. Oh, Cam, not, you know what? Oh yeah, it is wrong. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I see why you're mad, but this ain't the way to do it. Okay, I agree, and that's it. That's it. There's no more to be said. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
I agree that it ain't right. Okay, all of this shit ain't right. And that's what it comes down to, man. It comes down
yeah.
to, all of this shit ain't right, but what are we gonna do about it? You understand? What are we gonna move forward and do?
Yeah,
You know?
and then to me, like I said, once you get the organization down, you get the people, you get your leaders, you get the people that have respect and inspiration and motivation. You
Hmm.
get that. That's gonna be your foundation. And then, like you said, after that, shortly after that, is basically like you need to get those people involved in letting the actual people like us, like regular people, say middle class, lower class, poor class, whatever you want to classify it as, to get us motivated to want to push each other to that plateau of where we
Hmm.
can be held higher, and then we can hurt them where it really hurts, which is, first is going to be mind, and then the second is going to be their pockets.
Right.
they don't
Oh,
they
so
they don't want to
glad you
see
said
us
that.
succeed. You feel me?
I'm
They
glad you
don't
said
want to
that.
see you succeed. You shouldn't. They got us in a boat where it's like they shouldn't be here, but we trying to get there, and we
No,
need
you
to
said some shit.
everybody.
What you just said, in their pocket. So I want to go on that right now. Don't. I want everybody to know this, man. Minorities. I mean, of course, America is America, you know, but
Mhm.
minorities, specifically Black people, are like are literally statistically, that we can look this up, the number one consumers on planet Earth. So anything that's popular or popping, and we look at it in our community. If somebody's selling plates, if
Mhm.
somebody is selling eyelashes or wigs, if somebody are doing this, or somebody selling clothes or whatever the fuck going on, we trying to show love. We consuming it, consuming it, consuming it. We go to the mall, we buy the new Jordans, we do this, we do that. things for the culture, as far as wearing designer, all of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Dog, we spend so much money on that kind of shit, and that's the kind of money that could go towards funding organized shit, to where that money can bring return. You know what I'm saying? To where this
Yeah.
organization brings in an income and starts to become a LLC, brick and mortar type of institution, you know, and be something that's very established and starts to get what government funding. You understand? And that
Yeah.
kind of shit is the kind of things that can be proposed. And if it has to be whoever it has to be to, you know, to take that first step, to start making those proposals, writing down what we need, but it has to be organized. So it has to be already established that we are established, you know, as a people, as a whole, not as a nation or anything like that. We still Americans, but as a community of leaders, or as just community members, and being able to govern themselves and police themselves when the police are on duty, where they have where this is legal, where we can have somebody, as long as they represent this organization, be present at any time during any arrest of any minority or any person at that point in that community. So if somebody being arrested or pulled over, just like the police pull up, the organization member pulls up. And just how the police strapped and got shit like that, the organization member is strapped and got shit like that. And they are the referee, if you will, of what happens and transpires at that time. They are the ones that decides on if excessive force is needed or not. Because if that's what needs to happen, then that's what the fuck needs to happen. Period.
Yeah.
You know, because if the other cops, yeah, we have good cops. Oh yeah, so those good cops need to be those good cops when the bad cops are being the fucking bad cops. And what's happening all too often is they fall back on their blue. So it's like their gang is blue, badge man, and that's what it is. So they're always going to be like, okay, well, I have to side with this because that's what happened. Yeah, that was fucked up. That was excessive force. I agree. But I'm not going to go against my fellow badge member person. See, that's some bullshit. And it has to get nipped in the bud. Because if you have all of the training in the world to subdue me, if we are paying you to police us, literally paying you to make sure that motherfuckers don't rob us, to make sure crime doesn't happen in our area, to stop this drug deals that's going on around the corner from our grandma's house, and all whatever the fuck you gotta do, cool fam, whatever. If we policing you to do that and basically entrusting you that you're gonna have integrity on your job when you put that badge on, then you need to have that integrity. And if you don't, then you need to be held to a different accountability than a regular citizen, if that's the point. So guess what? If this man would have got this kind of time for that kind of crime, then your shit needs to be police enhanced, or whatever the fuck kind of terminology they need for them. You understand? Law enforcement enhancements need to be handed out. And that's what we'll talk about. Hashtag law enforcement enhancements. Hashtag accountability, all of that kind of shit. You know?
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that, and like I just want to touch on back on the solution things, before we head out. I believe you said it earlier too. Also, reform. There's a lot of reform that needs to get done.
Oh yes,
from the laws to who's in the White House to who's in these police cars to the whole world. You know, the whole world. And
even just how we are, like you said, the whole world, dude. Literally, how we look. And I want to say this for real, man. Black folks, man, and how we portrayed in movies, and how we portrayed in America, and how we portrayed on hood, bad boys, and all of that shit. Since the beginning, dog, since the movies and since the advertisements of blackface and all of the bullshit that America has already done to us, it should not be a secret. It should not be a problem. It should not be an issue of why we're fed up. It should just be, oh shit, they finally fed up, you know? Yeah. And that's real
tired,
talk.
We're
like
tired.
That's what we get now. If so long we have been in the face of America and still uprise out of that shit to be a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan, and you are so decorated when you can dunk a ball and shoot a ball, or if you could catch a ball or throw a ball, or you could tackle somebody really hard. That's when you're decorated by the same white folks that oppress us, the same people in Mississippi and Alabama that yell "Roll Tide" and that yell for all of their football teams and shit like that, in
Mm-hmm.
deep Texas and shit like that. How can you do that kind of stuff and your favorite running back and the one that we're going to state because of that running back, because of that African American, that same African American can walk outside and be fucked up by the police because of a misunderstanding, because of nothing at all, and you're not going to be outraged by that? Does that have to happen for you to be outraged? Does a high school football star that
Yeah.
you like have to make you outraged? What the fuck does it take? Cause guess what? If you're not gonna understand why we're outraged, and you're not gonna admit that there's a problem, then you are the fucking problem, and there's nobody else that's gonna convince me otherwise.
Yeah, and I completely get it and understand and agree with you 100%, man. And I don't know. I hope people take into consideration what we talked about. I know we kind of
For sure.
digress and hit different avenues, but it was all raw and uncut. So um, first of all, I just want to say that I appreciate you taking the time out and
Oh yeah, for
coming
sure,
on
man.
here because I
Anytime,
know
man.
I know it's not easy, and
Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice. You're biting your tongue a little bit, and I'm biting my tongue too, and I don't want to say the wrong things, but
Yeah, because you know why? I respect this shit so much.
yeah, I
Because
respect
otherwise,
everybody, man. I
everybody
respect
that
everybody.
everybody that knows me knows that I could go on a little rant. But this is the funny thing, and a lot of people that come encounter with me, right? And my whole life has been like this. It's like,
Mm,
to some of my more white counterparts or my more privileged counterparts, they will look at me as ghetto or ratchet or whatever the fuck, black, whatever you want to call that, hood, street,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever, right? And I am a lot of that. I am a lot of hood, street, and things like that, right? But I'm also very intellectual, but I'm also very open minded, but I'm also very spiritual and all this other good shit about me, right? But we're gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
about this. To my other counterparts, my hood, my street, my ratchet
Mm-hmm.
counterparts, right? They would classify me as being white, or classify me as being a little more squarer than them, or not as
Yeah.
hood as them. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like me, I've always had to straddle some kind of fence, and I've always just managed to always land on being myself. And that's very important in this whole thing. Everybody that's listening, I want y'all to still be yourself. I still want y'all to uphold your side, and what you feel is right and what's wrong. Because guess what? Me and Ant, we both sat here and both spoke on what's right and what's wrong, and we know, okay, yeah, cool, that's wrong. That's probably not the best way. Okay, we get it. But what the fuck? What is right? What's wrong? What do people propose?
Yep.
And that's why we sat here and proposed some things. If you guys like anything that we propose, leave some comments, message us about it, because we'd love to hear it. And we would also
Facts.
love to get people who have access to community leaders, to people who are in the entertainment business, who are I have family members who are in all of that. We have a duty to put it in their face, to say
Yep.
that, look, this is what's up. This is what we trying to do. Whether it be, I don't care who has to be the face of it, because I'm not saying that I would have to be the face of it. But what I am saying that is that I'm all for it. And whatever part that I have to play, I'm gonna play that part. Period. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Facts, facts, and I'm backing you up 100%. That's why you're on the podcast, man.
For
So,
sure.
um, it was a good episode, man. We got
Yeah,
some
this was
things out
good,
on
man. We got some real good
off our
things out
chest.
here, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, man. So,
For sure. Thanks for
I would,
having me, bro. I appreciate it.
yeah,
And
man.
I
At
like
the,
what you're doing, and we'll see
I
each
mean,
other, at the
you ain't
top,
got to,
my G.
you ain't got to butter me up, man. Come on.
No, I like that. I like what's going on, because you know what? We need more of this and less of the noise, because you know what? Sometimes the truth get lost in the noise, because When we try to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
part of the noise so much, we get lost in the noise.
I
So
hear
we
you.
have to
I hear
we
you.
have to create our own noise in other ways, and this is something that is both passionate to to both of us, but it's also something that's important to both of us because we both are one minorities, but also because we're brothers and we're human beings in a struggle against humanity and a struggle
Yeah.
against dark forces. And when you're in that struggle, it's better to be with people that at least still are the good, but they just are on one side for whatever reason. It's not, and just as I'm saying, oh, they have to understand, that we have to understand too. We got a duty to understand too, and it's just like a baby. You don't feed a baby, a steak. You have to feed them baby food, right? You have to
Yeah.
spoon feed them.
Yeah.
So you have to give them milk and shit like that first. So some of these people ain't ready for that steak right now. We have to spoon feed them that
Mm.
milk so they understand what the fuck is going on first.
I hear you, man. I hear you, bro. But usually I would end the podcast with rapid fire questions. I didn't make no rapid fire questions. So if you want to give
100.
any shout outs,
Yeah, shout out to Pookie, Tay Tay. No, I'm just playing. Listen, one time, listen, I just want to say this, man. Anybody that's listening to this podcast, if you didn't take anything else from this, I want you to just understand that as the world turns, and you know what I'm saying, as we continue to just live life, regular life as we know it,
yeah,
all right, we have to come to grips of what regular life will be like in the future, because not a lot of people pay attention to the future because we are wired to be so about today,
mm-hmm,
and the thing
mm-hmm,
is, sometimes people think, on the other hand, some people think we got forever to do shit. No, we have to act now. We have to do things diligently. Now, I will say this, man: don't act on impulse, don't act on emotion. Take a time to
yeah,
digress and to really figure out what needs to be done. If you're gonna be a person who is gonna be, you know, uh, an opportunist and just take this time to loot and take shit and just be on that side of it, man, that we ain't even talking to you. You have a whole nother thing to deal with. We're talking to
yeah,
the
yeah,
people that really want to see a change. We're talking to people that are really fed up, and we're also talking to people that really don't get it just yet. And that's
yeah.
fine, man, because if you don't get it, but you know that shit is wrong still, you like, you know what, that shit is fucked up, but I don't like that they burning shit down. All right, dog, we hear you too. You feel me?
That's
We
why
hear
we're
you
here.
too.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
So that's what we need. We need you too. We need you to get with us too, so that some of us that feel more radical, when the police get out of line, we gonna be on the front lines to be like, hey, what the fuck wrong with you, and push motherfuckers out the way. You can't do that, and whatever we gotta go through to get to the point that I'm talking about. Because I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, dog. And it might not happen
Yeah, yeah,
overnight and none of that shit, but if we could start making those baby steps to where, you know, a generation from our generation, 15 years from now, they'll have something very established where we could really be a part of it then, where it's really there now, and you know what I'm saying? And we got young kids
yep.
dedicated to this shit, and young Africans looking at each other like, what's up, bro? What's happening? And looking at other human beings like, what's up, man? Hey, what's going on? And it's regular and it's cool, because they know in the ghettos of these communities and these different communities, they have self-governed, names. And because we have all of these crazy gangs and shit already, it shouldn't even be that hard to get organized, dog. Because if you could
Yeah,
record,
yeah.
if you gonna rep your block, nigga, rep it the right way. Make sure a bitch ain't getting killed on your block that's unarmed. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Facts, facts. But yeah, man. So if you got any shout outs, shout some people
Oh
out,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All about the shout out. So look, as far as shout outs go, man, shout out to everybody listening to this podcast, man. Shout out to my brother Rod. Shout out to my other brother, Bruce. Shout out to all of my family members, man, that may be listening in. Shout out to my
Facts.
my grandmother and my great grandmothers for the sacrifices that they made for me to be able to be on a podcast with another brother speaking on this shit, and everybody else that made a sacrifice for us to be able to be speaking on this shit, especially more recently, Mr. George Floyd, Big Floyd, as they call him. So
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day, man, RIP to Big Floyd. and RIP to all of the unarmed soldiers that we lost in this crazy racial in the race fight, man. Because we know some of these things wasn't race related, man. But guess what? The bottom line is there's a racism issue in America, and it has to stop. That's it.
Facts. Facts, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and
For
appreciate
sure.
everybody that's listening and tuned in. Cam will probably be back for another future episode.
For
I got a
sure, man.
couple
We
of
gotta we
more.
gotta have a lighten up episode too, man. Like
Yeah,
when I'm
yeah,
on
we're
this
gonna
bitch
get
chilling.
it. We
Cause
got a
niggas like
regular
Cam, you don't
episode.
talk like that. That's not your speaking voice, Cam.
God damn it, Randall.
Yeah,
you know.
it's all good. Hey,
But
don't worry
yeah,
about it.
man. So it's
Yeah.
all love, baby. Make sure to tune in to the next episode will be Friday,
Can I
8
kick it?
p.m.
Yes, you
Yes, you
can.
can. Hey,
For
I hope I don't
sure.
get monetized, but I appreciate you, man. It's all love, baby. I'm gonna have you on for another episode, man.
For
I had a
sure. Hey,
blast,
y'all
dog.
just been tuning in to Can I Kick It? It's your boy Killer Cicko, man. I just want everybody to understand what's going on and understand we'll be in a better place soon as we come together. 100.
Facts, facts. One. All right, everybody. Peace.